So let's press on. Vasistha continued, O Rama, one should, with a body free from illness and mind free from distress, pursue self-knowledge so that he is not born again here. The body free from illness. There is a strand in yoga which, if you don't have a healthy body, then you're pretty much, your chances are pretty slim. It's a rather cruel strand, I think. But you certainly cannot be distracted by illness. You know, if all you can be thinking about is your unfortunate condition, whether it's a toothache or something more severe, then you are going to be in a state of distress, and you need a body and mind free from such distress, because that distress is going to hijack your attention. It's going to be all you can be focused on, and it's going to be difficult to pursue self-knowledge if you're focused on that distress. Such self-effort has a threefold root and therefore threefold fruit: an inner awakening in the intelligence, a decision in the mind, and the physical action. There has to be this inner awakening in the intelligence. And how do you know if you've got that or not? Well, you can look at some of these ancient texts, like the Yoga Vasistha. And that's why it's an interesting exercise, or a worthwhile exercise, to study books like this, to try and understand them, not just from a conceptual point of view, but to explore what's called the inner awakening in the intelligence. So we've got the inner awakening in the intelligence, a decision in the mind, and the physical action. So once you've got that inner awakening in the intelligence, what we might call insight, then you can act in it. You make a decision in the mind, and you go about nurturing that intelligence. And that is what the self-effort is about. It's not about doing loads of meditation or loads of study or anything else. It is about fueling that insight and acting in accordance with it. Self-effort is based on these three: knowledge of scriptures, instructions of the preceptor, and one's own effort. Knowledge of scriptures, instructions of the preceptor, that's the guru, and one's own effort. I think for most of us in the West, we can go along with knowledge of scriptures and one's own effort. Instructions of a guru, well, as I said earlier, that's something we have to be very careful about. It's good if we've got some kind of spiritual friends who can perhaps give us advice. So I think maybe in the West we can substitute the guru for spiritual friends who are open to us and sensitive to our own problems. Fate, or divine dispensation, does not enter here. Hence, he who desires salvation should divert the impure mind to pure endeavour by persistent effort. This is the very essence of all scriptures. So if you've got a bit of a problem with the word scripture, if you've grown up in a tradition, one of the Middle Eastern traditions, Islam or Judaism or Christianity, then this is an interesting definition of scripture, of the essence of scripture. Diverting the impure mind to pure endeavour by persistent effort. The Holy Ones emphasize persistently tread the path that leads to the eternal good. And the wise seeker knows the fruit of my endeavours will be commensurate with the intensity of my self-effort, and neither fate nor a God can ordain it otherwise. Indeed, such self-effort alone is responsible for whatever a man gets here. So we're not following a path here. We actually see what we need to do. There's no faith involved. The playing board is laid out before us, and we can make our moves. There's no chance involved. We know intrinsically whether our attention is hijacked or not, and we can decide whether we want to let it be hijacked or not. And if we want to let it be hijacked, well, that's when the effort is lacking. Indeed, such self-effort alone is responsible for whatever man gets here. When he is sunk in unhappiness, to console him, people suggest that it is his fate. This is obvious. One goes abroad, one appeases one's hunger by undertaking a journey and by eating food, not on account of a fate. No one has seen such a fate or a God, but everyone has experienced how an action, good or evil, leads to a result, good or evil. Hence, right from one's childhood, one should endeavour to promote one's true good, salvation, by a keen, intelligent study of the Scriptures, by having the company of the holy ones, and by right self-effort. So it's good to read these books, even if the understanding isn't clear, because we are getting in touch with something else. There's something profound in them, which hopefully will at some point reveal itself to us. It's good if we have got company of holy ones, it says here, but let's just say people of similar disposition, and we make right self-effort as well. Fate or divine dispensation is merely a convention which has come to be regarded as truth by being repeatedly declared to be true. If this God or fate is truly the ordainer of everything in this world, of what meaning is any action, even like bathing, speaking or giving? And whom should one teach at all? No, in this world, except a corpse, everything is active, and such activity yields its appropriate result. No one has ever realized the existence of a fate or divine dispensation. People use such expressions as I am impelled by fate or divine dispensation to do this, for self-satisfaction, but this is not true. For example, if an astrologer predicts that a young man would become a great scholar, does that young man become a scholar without study? No. Then why do we believe in this divine dispensation? Brahma, this sage Vishvamitra, became a Brahma Rishi, by self-effort. Brahma Rishi, well, Rishi is a holy person, and a Brahma Rishi must be the highest or the most accomplished kind of holy person. Rama, this sage Vishvamitra, we met Vishvamitra earlier on, became a Brahma Rishi by self-effort. All of us have attained self-knowledge by self-effort alone. Hence, renounce fatalism and apply yourself to self-effort. So you only apply to this self-effort though once you know what the effort's about. You're not blindly following instructions. You're not embarking on a course of spiritual realization with the understanding that by doing such and such you'll get such and such.